Hey guys, welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. I'm Ron Mackenzie Lafergie. So, the Joker, Batman's greatest adversary. On its face, this topic might seem pretty easy. Joker is definitely a scary dude, so you'd think that any list involving him would be scary too. But the problem is, A, he doesn't have a whole lot of weaknesses in the first place, and B, the ones that do exist aren't particularly scary. But I'll do my best with a topic I've been given, presumably because scary is a popular search term. Hopefully we can have some fun trying to make these things sound remotely scary, even though we will likely fail miserably. If you're still somehow watching this video after that intro, you are a true nerd and I thank you. Now get ready, you dedicated nerds, because it's time for the top 10 scary Joker weaknesses. Whatever that means. Number 10, his looks. Let's start this list off with a fairly legit point. Trust me, it all gets much worse from here. The Joker's looks in most iterations are both quite scary and a weakness. While the nature of Joker's deformity varies from version to version, sometimes having his skin be naturally white, while other times having him use makeup, Joker almost always looks like a freaky clown, which makes it a bit difficult for him to go incognito. Plus, it really cuts down on one's choices with the ladies. Now, I should point out that these scary looks are, in certain contexts, an advantage, since he can scare people, but he's also way easier to spot when he's on the run. Number 9, bit of a one-trick pony. Now, in the movies, Joker definitely loves to blow stuff up, but in the comics and animated stuff, Joker has a real love of working his shtick into his schemes. Joker is famous for his laughing gas, which causes people to laugh and laugh and laugh until they die, with horrid grins on their face. Now, here's the thing. The laughing gas is definitely a cool gimmick, and it's definitely scary. Not only because the idea of laughing yourself to death sounds pretty freaky, but his victims are always drawn in such a creepy way. But the thing is, most of these plans end up being thwarted with very few casualties. Since the laughing gas can be reversed, people can be healed, Batman can be immunized, any number of things can go wrong and throw a wrench in his plans. If he just went ahead and exploded people, none of that would be an issue. Seriously, at this rate, they should just add laughing gas immunizations to childhood vaccinations in Gotham. Number 8, he alienates possible allies. If you want to bet on a villain winning at all costs, your bet would be pretty safe on the Joker. But if you want to actually join a villain, Joker has proven himself to be a terrible, terrible choice. He's rude, he's annoying, he's at once incredibly childish and insanely violent, he's constantly making plans within plans within plans. He's just a bad teammate. Not only does he treat allies poorly, but he makes it clear time and time again that he will always look out for himself, even at the expense of his allies. I mean, that's pretty common for all villains, but it's especially common for the Joker. It's hard to make strong allies when you turn on them at the drop of a hat, and Joker's lack of true allies often leads to him being overwhelmed. The only silver lining for him is that Batman also has a habit of pissing off his friends, but at least he doesn't straight up kill them. Usually. Why is this scary? Well, it would be pretty scary to have a friend who could spray you with acid at any given moment. Yeah, I think that counts. Number 7, abusive. This is pretty similar to alienating, but I think it's specific enough to have its own spot. Plus, who am I kidding? I gotta fill up this list. The thing is, even if Joker isn't actively trying to kill you or betray you, he's still an unstable maniac. And this often causes him to lash out at those around him when things don't go his way, be they a minion or Harley Quinn. Kinda reminds me of a certain world leader who shall remain nameless. I consider this to be a weakness not only because lashing out at people around you shows incredibly weak character, but also because, like with the alienation, it often results in allies that are fairly quick to abandon ship when the going gets tough. Joker had Harley pretty damn near brainwashed, and he was still so abusive that she eventually left, leaving him alone. And I mean, as to the scary bit, abusive people are scary. Pretty self-explanatory. Number 6, near complete lack of superpowers. Aside from increased intellect and an apparent immunity to poison in some cases, the Joker is more or less without real superpowers. He's just a crazy dude who likes killing and mayhem. Now, how is this scary? Let me think. Oh, it's scary because if someone in real life had the inclination, the insanity, and the brains, they could do what he does in real life. Minus the laughing gas and whatnot. There. That's what's scary. The Joker's lack of powers makes him that much more realistic, which is scary. Nailed it. Number 5, warped view of humanity. We all know that Joker doesn't have a huge amount of respect for people in general. He pretty much assumes that everyone is screwed up and cutthroat, like less messed up versions of himself. Now, this view often ends up being correct. Particularly in Gotham, we see quite a few examples of humanity's worst. However, Joker's warped cynicism about human nature does go against him at times, like in The Dark Knight when neither ship blows up the other. For all the Joker's scheming and for how well he understands the worst in humanity, he has a massive blind spot when it comes to humanity's strength. What's scary about this weakness? Well, the fact that there are people in real life who share similar views, some of whom use them as an excuse to commit violence. And that is both incredibly disappointing and quite scary. Number 4. Obsessive. If you've consumed any Batman media, you'll know that the Joker is just a wee bit obsessed with Batman. And I mean, fair enough, I guess. If I was a villain and some rich boy dressed up as a bat and stopped me time and time again, I'd probably have my eye on him too. But this obsession is in many cases a weakness for Joker. Just as good guys often have their morality used against them, Joker's obsession with Batman can be used against him. Whether it's used to distract him from something else or to draw him into a trap, Joker's fascination with bats has been his undoing on more than one occasion. And why is it scary? Well, would you want the Joker of all people to be your creepy, obsessed stalker? Nor would I. Number 3. Love of Batman. While Joker's obsession with bats definitely causes some problems for him, I don't think his feelings end at obsession. Joker really does love Batman in his own totally screwed up way. This is one of the Joker's biggest weaknesses since it often causes him to make choices that end up hurting him. In pretty much every altercation between them, Joker could just shoot Batman or blow him up or reveal his secret or anything like that. But he constantly chooses not to take those routes due to the undying and super weird connection he feels with Batman. And let's be real, as scary as it would be to have the Joker be obsessed with you, I think it would be even worse to have him be in love. Like, if someone that messed up loves me, what does that say about me? Number 2. Unpredictability. Due to the Joker's unique way of viewing the world and his place in it, his plans often don't make a whole lot of sense. And he seems to enjoy calling audibles whenever he wants. While this unpredictability can be a nightmare to deal with on the good guy's side, it can also mess with his allies, as temporary as they may be. How frustrating would it be to go through this big elaborate plan with the Joker, dealing with all his annoying quirks, only for him to change his mind at the last minute, kill all the henchmen, and then, instead of just killing Batman, he puts him into a funhouse where he plays with him for a while before being defeated. Again! But then again, this unpredictability also causes him to randomly start torturing a person or beating someone to death with a crowbar, which is pretty darn scary. Number 1. His insanity. This one had to be on here because it is, in my opinion, objectively the scariest thing about the Joker. Not that people with mental illness are insane, you know what I mean. You never know what he's going to do, which is pretty terrifying considering his penchant for, killing. This can be beneficial since it definitely instills fear in his enemies, but sometimes it results in him making decisions against his own self-interests. As I said, he could have killed Batman so many times, but like Dr. Evil, he often makes things way too hard for himself, largely due to his insanity. That's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video, folks. If you did, please smack that like button, subscribe, click the bell, all that jazz. And if you do feel like commenting down below, "Hey Ron, those were some lousy points," you best back that up with some points of your own, because man alive, this was hard. I'll be back for another video or two, possibly more, but probably not, as I believe we have some new hosts on their way. In the meantime, I'll see you fine feathered friends down in the comment section. Until next time, I'm Ron Mackenzie LaFergie with Top 10 Nerd. Later, nerds.